What is going on? Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media, and today we are talking yet again about another acquisition. This time, surprisingly, not from Microsoft's end. So, Sony PlayStation announced today that they have acquired Bungie, the creators of Halo, the creators of Destiny, as well as a couple other IP, I think, earlier on there. This is huge. This is the first time we've seen a clear, this is Sony firing back moment. And I just want to say, before I get into this discussion in its stride, I do not support any of this. I don't really want any companies to be bought. I don't like what Microsoft is doing. I especially don't like when they're buying studios that weren't there, you know, they weren't part of that console's, like, you know, framework, if that makes sense. Bungie would have made sense if Microsoft bought them. Whereas when Sony buys, you know, Housemarque or Bluepoint, those make sense. Even I would say Microsoft buying Bethesda kind of works. This is another one of those situations where, like, no, they're just firing back. They're like, okay, money, here you go. We need developers now. So let's get into this. I'm reading the PlayStation blog post from Jen Ryan, legendary developer to join PlayStation as independent multi-platform studio and publisher. So yes, that is the biggest thing about this, I think. Apparently, Bungie's gonna stay independent, even though they're under PlayStation Studios. We're actually not even sure if they'll be branded as PlayStation Studios games, even though they own them, which is weird, right? So let's read through this. Today, I'm happy to announce Bungie will be joining the PlayStation family. First off, I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher. As such, we believe it makes sense for it to sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organization, and we are incredibly excited about the opportunities for synergies and collaboration between these two world-class groups. Okay, so they are going to be separate. You won't see Destiny 3 on the shelf with a PlayStation Studios logo, presumably. I've spent a lot of time with Pete Parsons, Jason Jones, and the Bungie management team to develop the right relationships where they will be fully backed and supported by Sony Interactive Entertainment and enabled to do what they do best, build incredible worlds that captivates millions of people. Bungie's world-class and expertise in multi-platform development and live game services will help us deliver on our vision of expanding PlayStation to hundreds of millions of gamers. Bungie is a great innovator and has developed incredible proprietary tools that will help PlayStation Studios achieve new heights under Herman Hulst's leadership. And then here are a few words from Herman about this exciting acquisition and what it means for gamers. I am absolutely thrilled to announce a new member will be joining the PlayStation family. I've been a big fan of Bungie for many years. I've admired and enjoyed the games that they create, and have great respect for their skill in building worlds that gamers want to explore again and again. Bungie makes great games with outstanding technology that are enormously fun to play. They have also have unmatched dedication to the communities that play their games, and everyone at PlayStation and PlayStation Studios will be excited about what we can share and learn from them. And then he goes on to say how incredible the team is. And then we also have a quote from Pete Parsons, CEO of Bungie. We believe games have limitless potential, and that to do anything worthwhile in entertainment, we must bet big on our vision, on our studio, and on our incredible team of trusted creators who build unforgettable worlds that truly matter to people. And then there's more about the history with Destiny, and, you know, there used to be some exclusive content there on PS4 when that game came out. It was revealed at Sony E3 2013, right? So it's been a while. But let's get into this. So this one kind of came out of nowhere because I don't think people were really looking at Bungie, right? Bungie has so proudly been independent. They were a Microsoft studio, then they broke free of Microsoft. And actually, I'm not too familiar with the history. I don't know if Microsoft actually owned them, but either way, they were working with Microsoft on Halo exclusively, right? And then they were working with Activision on Destiny. I believe Activision owned Destiny as an IP, and then somehow Bungie got it back. And now they're getting bought again. Like 3 or 4 years after they just got away from Activision. I don't understand why Bungie would be like, okay, let's get bought again. They seem so proud of their independence. So I don't really understand this one. I guess when you see, what was the number? I don't think they actually said it in this article. Let me look it up here. I think it's $3.6 billion. That's how much Sony paid for Bungie. Which, for comparison's sake, I believe Sony spent $200 million or so on Insomniac. Of course, Bungie is huge, but that's still a crazy comparison. I can't find the yeah, $3.6 billion, right? So obviously not a number to scoff at. When you compare it to the Activision number that Microsoft bought Activision for, then it kind of looks like nothing, but it's still $3.6 billion. I believe that's the biggest acquisition that Sony as a company has ever made. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe there's something outside of gaming they've done, but in terms of gaming, that's definitely the biggest they've done. Why do this if Bungie's going to stay multi-platform, right? That's the weird thing. I don't know if that's something where Sony was like, okay, people are kind of salty about Xbox clearly making all these games exclusive to Xbox Game Pass, so maybe they're trying to get some goodwill with that, with the Destiny community. But what I see this as, the only logical reason I can see them keeping it multi-platform is, one, then they can keep those player bases, because obviously Destiny 2 is already on everything. It's already a huge game on Xbox and PC. Two, I think this is going to be good for PlayStation's move onto PC. I think that obviously, you know, they already have their PlayStation PC branding on Steam with Horizon, or Epic Games, all right, I believe. Horizon came out, God of War just came out. I think Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection is coming soon to PC. So PlayStation is obviously moving more into PC, so maybe Bungie can help with that. But most importantly, Spartacus. I think having Destiny and all future expansions free on your service pretty much guarantees the entire Destiny fan base will be subscribed to your PlayStation Game Pass. I think that's what this move is. I can't really see it as any other thing. That has to be the main reason, right? You have Destiny, you have Destiny 2, you have all future expansions, day and date, on your service. That way they can have the messaging be, okay, we're not giving our first-party games away for free day and date on PlayStation Spartacus, whatever it ends up being called, PlayStation Game Pass. But since Bungie's kind of like its own separate entity still, we're still working with them to make sure everything is day and date in the Destiny universe. And I think that Bungie is also making more IP in the future. So I think that has to be what this move is for. This has to be for bolstering their service that they're presumably going to be launching in the next month or so. I think the rumor was March. So we might even hear about it next month, or this month, close to when you're listening to this, at January 31st, when this deal was announced. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. I'm going to cover any crazy acquisitions. Jim Ryan did say expect more in the future. I don't know if that means this year. I just wanted to talk about this because any crazy acquisition, what a crazy month, man. First, Take-Two bought Zynga. Then we had, of course, the Activision and Blizzard purchased by Microsoft. And now we have Bungie. The consolidation of the industry is terrifying. I don't really like it at all, personally. But it is interesting to see Sony respond. And when I say respond, I don't mean like, oh, they're responding to when they bought Activision. Because a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, they're responding because they don't have Call of Duty anymore, so they bought a great first-person shooter developer in Bungie. No, this isn't a response to Activision. I'm sure they're really happy they have Bungie now because of the Activision purchase. This is a response to Bethesda. This is a response to Sony realizing a year and a half ago, like, oh, shit, we got to make some moves. I believe somewhere, I don't know if it was, I forget who it was, but some journalist said that, I believe he said that this deal has been in the works for 5 to 6 months. That sounds about right. That sounds about the right reaction time to after Bethesda being purchased and all that happening. And just the way the industry is moving forward in general, more acquisitions are going to happen. I personally have very little stake in a lot of these Western developers. I think the next ones you need to really look forward to, or look out for, are for Western developers. I think WB Games, I think that is ripe for the taking, it be it Sony or Microsoft. It would make sense for Sony to buy them because of Mortal Kombat and Sony's Evo, and they're cornering the fighting game community. I think that could make sense. But then again, Microsoft, who the fuck knows? They might just do whatever they want and buy WB Games and get all those IP. Another one is, of course, Ubisoft. I know that seems like a huge one, but after that, what happened with Activision, I don't know. I could see Microsoft buying Activision, or they already did buy that. I could see Microsoft buying Ubisoft. I don't think Sony would go for Ubisoft, but I could see Microsoft doing that. Other ones I could see Sony buying, though, it depends on if they can get their hands on the Japanese developers. I don't know if the government there has different laws for acquisitions like that. It seems like they do, because there's no way Microsoft hasn't been trying, right? There's no way Microsoft isn't trying to get Square Enix and Capcom, and especially Sega. So if Sony can get one of those, that's what I think they're going to go for. Specifically Capcom. I think Capcom makes the most sense. Square Enix may be more or so a little bit, actually, but Square Enix is probably more expensive than Capcom, I would assume. But both of those, I think Sony probably is interested in. It's just a matter of whether or not they can. And I'm sure Microsoft is also in talks to probably try and buy those companies, because those are the really big ones remaining. Capcom, Square Enix, Sega. In Japan, of course, I should specify. You still have Take-Two, you still have Ubisoft, you still have EA on the table, I guess. But yeah, the consolidation is real. I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to end the video here, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this crazy Bungie acquisition that PlayStation just did. I don't like it, but I can't deny that it is an exciting time to be a gamer in the games industry, and just seeing how it all unfold. You know, this is This is their 10-year, 20-year game plan now. They're prepping, they're future-proofing right now. So it's very exciting to see what these companies are doing, even if it's not the best thing for the consumer, right? But there you guys have it. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to share it around, subscribe, like it, all that fun stuff. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at BotoxMedia, where I post a lot of Pokemon stuff and anime stuff, and whenever there's news like this, I talk about it. And until next time, guys, bye-bye!